Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to a different kind of video. Today we're going to be talking about the 95 employees that BHVR laid off, which is a very massive amount, very above normal amount of people to lay off in one fell swoop. Obviously, a lot of families were directly affected, and a lot of people that we directly knew in the DBD social media space. All those behavior workers and employees that were actually, you know, out there in the social media spaces interacting with us every day are gone. And it's a pretty huge blow. Layoffs are never pretty, but especially when it's one this huge. You miss one that seems this kind of like dramatic, which it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very dramatic. There's questions of like what happened. Was there incompetency involved? How did so many people just overnight just lose everything? How did this happen? And there's a couple things that plays into this just based on when these people were hired and that sort of thing that I'm going to get into. But yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So I'm just gonna do a little forewarning, a little warning up front is that a lot of this gets into like boring economic stuff. I taught economics before, so I'm not gonna use a lot of big economic terms or anything, but we're gonna be talking about just like the state of the economy at different points, so be prepared for that. There are two main reasons why a company would hire that many people in the last 4-year period as they did. The two takeaways we have is the first one I'll talk about first, which is the one you probably know about. I know other creators have talked about it, is that COVID was a gaming boom. COVID, you know, obviously we all had to stay indoors and it took us a long time to be able to reintegrate and have a normal life. COVID still isn't gone, but we have vaccines and stuff now, and so we're, you know, integrating back into society normally. In the initial years of COVID, everybody was inside. Everybody was quarantined, so that leads to a lot of indoor activities such as gaming, and obviously behavior's main thing is gaming. Not their only thing, but their main thing is gaming. So they experienced a big boom, just like a lot of gaming companies did during this COVID era. Now, there was probably this assumption that some level of this would stay, some level of this success would continue to go on, but these people will, once the quarantine is over, once they're able to actually go back to working normal jobs, will go back to working normal jobs, which means less time to game, which means they, you know, are not buying skins, they're not contributing to the game, they're not contributing to the player count, all this wonderful stuff. The second thing that I have not seen a lot of people talk about is that if you weren't a company that could provide your service while people were quarantined and indoors, your business has suffered majorly during the COVID quarantine. Your business has suffered a lot, but as a result, once the quarantine started being lifted and people started going back outside again, a lot of businesses would like overhire because they were anticipating a big boom when people returned. And that was another reason that a lot of companies end up overhiring, and that's why you see a lot of layoffs not only in the gaming sphere but in a lot of companies relatively recently, is because they realized, oh hey, companies either, you know, only went back to their baseline that they had before COVID, or that things still stayed relatively low. So they ended up not needing that many people because there wasn't really a boom like they thought there was going to be. This is just conjecture. This is not like, obviously none of us work behind the scenes at behavioral. Probably someone does somewhere, but that I'm aware of, none of us work at behavior, so we don't know what really happened behind the scenes. A lot of people at behavior probably don't know why they got fired or laid off either. If you actually look at the actual post that they made, it's just kind of like a lot of just like legalese, as I like to call it. A lot of just like, we're going to phrase this in the best way to protect ourselves and not really tell you the reason why this happened. But based on what other gaming companies have similarly done, probably behavior incorrectly assessing that, hey, this COVID boom is going to stick around, and even if it dips a little bit, we're still going to be, you know, swimming in the money. Nope. People are going to go back to work. People are going to stop gaming as much, and your profits are going to see that. That's going to be reflected in your profit margin. And then obviously the second one, which is that a lot of companies anticipated that when people returned to work, people would have more money to spend on things. And realistically, the economy's still in not a great place. I'm sure you all understand that. So that the big boom of people returning to work and doing all this stuff, like that was kind of an idea that was made of hot air. So it could be a double whammy of both those things. Who knows? Like I said, I was telling somebody this in a react the other day. It's like, we don't work at behavior and we don't work higher up in behavior, so we have no idea why really, but that's just the best inference I can make based on the context of the greater economy at the time. I want to make this abundantly clear before we close out the video. This in no way is a justification at all for any of this. I'm saying this to contextualize what's happening and to explain what's happening. Definitely, at the bottom line, they overestimated somehow. Doesn't matter where it came from or why, but they overestimated somehow. And that was a lot of people and a lot of families directly affected as a result because of that misjudgment, which means they should have been more accurate or more careful, probably both. So it's really disappointing to see them make such a pervasive blunder here when it comes to so many people and their lives being affected. And it's just really disappointing to see. There's one positive thing that I could leave you with, that's not just, oh gosh, gloom and doom, look at all this terrible stuff, is that there are still people, they're lovely, great, amazing people that do work at Behavior, that still have a lot of big social media presences. Please be nice to them and be lovely to them. And you know, because not only just because they kept their jobs does not mean they were not affected. Like, a lot of their friends or family that they got to work there as well just got laid off. So I imagine that morale is not too high right now. So if you could be cordial and kind to the people that you know who still work at Behavior, that would be great, because they're not, you know, higher up bigwig execs. They didn't have any role in doing this. The devs certainly didn't do anything. Like, the people who make the game obviously can't make this decision, so don't take that out on them. Just be kind to them. Yeah, what do you think about the tremendous Behavior layoffs? What do you think it came from? And do you think it was kind of a incompetency thing? Like, was it just the COVID thing? What do you think? What are the options you think that came from why we had such a dramatic and very destructive layoff of all of these people? Let me know down in the comments below what your take is, and even if it's just how you feel about it. But that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching, but I do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow. But if I do not, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.